Chapter 10. After Mother had gone into the hospital, she went back 3 more times before I made the decision to relieve my then 79-year-old grandmother from the torture that she had endured and bring Mother to live with me. That was when my family saw a whole new side of her. They got to experience what I, my brothers, and our grandmother had experienced for 33 years. When we went to my grandmother's house for our yearly summer visit, it was the normal visit that we scheduled every year. There was no intention on bringing Mother to live with us, and I had no idea that she was in the state of mind that she was in. Mother had not taken her medicine. She hadn't changed her clothes in several days, nor had she eaten anything, and she was after my grandmother again. Her mind left her. She did not know the days of the week. She couldn't tell me when she had eaten or taken her medicine last, nor could she count her money. "Mama, where is your medicine?" I asked. "What medicine? I don't need any medicine. They need the medicine. They around here talking about somebody crazy. I'm not crazy. They the one who's crazy," she replied. "They who, Mama?" "Oh, now you don't know who they is. Them. They, whoever." It was at that moment I knew I had to do something. What? I didn't know. My head was spinning and my heart was pounding with hurt, confusion, denial, and that feeling of darkness was taking hold of me as if it were choking the very life from my body. Fear had gripped me like a big time wrestler, one that had the winning grip of death during the final round of the show. This situation had to be dealt with by me. No longer could I continue to be on this roller coaster at the horror park. Mother's life was at stake. My own sanity was at stake. And my family's peace was at stake. I began looking around the house for the medicine, which I found in the garbage. Granny told me that Mother hadn't eaten in 2 or 3 days. She was frail and agitated. "Mama, I need you to eat for me." "Eat what?" she said. "I will buy you some chicken from Popeyes," I replied. "Okay, I ain't eating nothing from that kitchen. That witch is trying to poison me. That food smells funny." I knew she was talking about my grandmother. Every time she became delusional, it was always my grandmother who was out to get her. This time she referred to her as a witch. She had never called her a witch before. Therefore, I knew that she was far gone. I went to get Mother some chicken, and she ate it. I convinced her to take a shower and change her clothes. After everything had settled down, I knew I had to have a talk with my husband. "Larry, I need to talk to you." We went into the dining room and sat at the table. "I really need to bring Mother home with us. She is too much for Granny to handle anymore, and there is no one else that could take care of her better than us. I need to take her. For how long, I don't know. I do know that she cannot live here anymore." Then I rested to hear his response. "This is your mother, and whatever you need to do, I'm totally with you. Tell me what you need from me, and I'll do it." At that moment, tears filled my eyes. They dropped so rapidly, they could have filled a 10-gallon bucket in minutes. How could I be so blessed to have a husband that would take my mentally ill mother without knowing the full scope and sequence or the implications that it would have on our lives? We brought her home with us and experienced lots of chaos, but eventually she became stable. She moved back to Cincinnati under the care of my dear aunt. Once back home, she had fewer yet more intense episodes. When she had them, grandmother was still the enemy. She often called me on the phone with the voice talk, and I would begin to pray right on the spot, which seemed to help. My mother lived in her own apartment until recently in the same senior building that another sister who had mental illness lived in as well. She was bipolar. When they both lived with my grandmother, she had hell on her hands. Grandmother and my aunt are now deceased. Mother would be mentally ill for the rest of her life, and the questions I have asked have been answered. She can live normal if she takes her medication regularly, but she will, because of the chronically disturbing nature of her illness, always experience some symptoms. She resides in a nursing home facility because the illness has evolved and she now has dementia. She is regularly going back and forth to the hospital with pneumonia and flu symptoms because she smokes. Her mind is somewhat sound due to the around the clock care she is now receiving. As in the past, she does not have the will to live and has signed do not resuscitate paperwork and has shared her unwillingness to be on life support. The family curse has struck again in my own son. Only God knows, and the person who is experiencing the demons in their mind knows what it is like.